Yeah, I'm planning to come and play for the Celtics this coming up year.
There you have it. I'm Bobby Manning. Welcome to the Garden Report special edition after today's press conference's open training camp at the Celtics Summer League. You have numerous Celtics rostered, including Romeo Langford, Aaron Nesmith, Payton Pritchard going to the Summer League this season. Sam Hauser out of Virginia is one of the new Celtics two-way players. And Yam Madar.
Yeah, I feel comfortable in my game. It's a new level. It's a new challenge. I work really hard. I prepare myself for this moment to come. I know it's going to be this year, that I will come this year. And I'm just excited to get started.
Who people have been thrilled about up and down Celtics YouTube, up and down Celtics Twitter. He's going to get his first chance to show the Celtics that he's worthy of being a rostered player next season. Now, he'll certainly be filling a roster spot on this team. In terms of the cost of the possible buyout of the Tel Aviv team that Madar is currently playing for, and the cost of him foregoing overseas salary, I think it's highly doubtful that he would come here for a two-way deal, which only pays you about $75,000 before your prorated NBA game totals that you serve out there. So, especially as we start to see the Celtics offseason heading in a direction where there'll likely be no free agent signings. Mark Murphy today reporting that the Celtics are unlikely to use their mid-level exception, even the small one, as it would push them over the luxury tax. They're just about $700,000 short of the luxury tax right now, so the Celtics are just squeezing in that final amount of salary, and it will be interesting, as Madar says that he's going to be part of the Celtics this year. How did they facilitate that? Tristan Thompson, the deal that sends him to Sacramento, along with bringing in Chris Dunn and Bruno Fernando, is still incomplete. The Celtics may be trying to send a guy like Chris Dunn elsewhere to open up a roster spot for Yam Madar. That is still yet to be seen. Will probably be settled by the August 6th date, where that will likely be concluded. I don't think it's expected that that's going to be concluded before that date. But Madar will need to be bought out of his Tel Aviv contract. The NBA places a limit at right about $750,000 in terms of how much NBA teams can pay for an overseas buyout. So if, like in the case of a Luka Doncic, that price exceeds $750,000, that total comes out of your next NBA contract. I don't know if Yam's buyout's going to exceed $750,000. I guess we'll see. But it is a consideration if the Celtics are going to be a little tight in terms of offering him a competitive salary here and buying him out of that contract as well. A buyout up to $750,000 does not impact your cap charge. I believe if you exceed that total, the amount that's given back will be added on as a signing bonus per se over the years that Yam would be potentially signed. So that was kind of the theme of training camp today at the Celtics practice facility. The players who are going to be on this roster: Pritchard, Langford, Nesmith, Yam, Hauser, as well as Zach August, who's been playing in Greece since going undrafted out of Notre Dame in 2016. He's a 6'10 big man, 14 points a game, nearly 11 rebounds in his final season at Notre Dame. He is a guy that the Celtics, according to Chris Grenham, have been talking to, kicking around. Maybe their two-way guy. They do seem to like him. This will be a bit of a tryout for potential two-way guys after the Celtics declined to offer Taco Fall and Tremont Waters qualifying offers and potentially bring them back for their third and final two-way seasons. Sam Hauser, of course, Eric Holman, who attended Mississippi State until 2019 and played last year in the G League, as well as which I believe is in Germany. That was where that rookie with the Pistons played, I believe. Killian Hayes. That's it. Dedrick Lawson is joining the Celtics from the from Kansas, and then a G League stint, and then 2 stints in Korea and Turkey. He is 6'9", 3-point shooter in his last year at Kansas. and had a couple big games at the Austin Spurs in 2019-20. Still just 23 years old. His brother will be joining him on the Celtics Summer League as well, KJ Lawson, who also attended Kansas, Memphis, went to Tulane in 1920 for his last college year, and spent last year with the Worcester Wolves in Worcester, England. He was a former AAC Freshman of the Year, 6'7", more of a wing type. So these are the kind of guys that are going to be on the Celtics roster battling it out for a potential two-way spot. Now, in terms of the rostered players, the onus is there. Payton Pritchard today talked about how the way the Celtics offseason has gone, guys like Nesmith, Pritchard, they're going to be much more relied upon in terms of impacting this team as second-string players across the board at the wing spot. In Pritchard's case, wing shooting. This team is going to be lacking three-point shooting, so he's going to need another big year catching and shooting threes and be able to prove that he's a complementary piece as a playmaker, because the Celtics, as of now, as of recording this, have not addressed that playmaking need at the point guard spot that plagued them for much of last year. You're also going to have expanded role for Romeo Langford and Nesmith. Nesmith certainly going to be relied upon as a floor spacer. So Langford is going to have to make his minutes with improved playmaking. Solid defense on the perimeter, which he's flashed so far. He did not speak today. We'll probably hear from him later in the week, as the Celtics are going to be talking every single day here leading up to the weekend after their training camp sessions. Grant Williams is absent, though, from this training camp as well as the Summer League. He will not be playing in the Summer League. Summer League coach Joe Mazulla commented on that as well when asked by John Corrales.
First one, fortunately, I don't have to make those decisions, so I'm not sure why he's not playing. He is here working out, and, he was here this morning, and he's another one. He understands where he's at. He understands his development, and we've been working with him as well. So excited to have Grant in the gym.
So what we kicked around on the Garden Report the last couple of nights, that Grant would probably be the one deciding that he didn't necessarily need Summer League. That does seem to be the case from Mazzulla's answer there. Grant knows where he's at. He's here working, and he doesn't necessarily need the game time, which would play into a notion that Romeo, Nesmith, Pritchard, these guys, given their NBA experience last year, will be on more of a year two plan in this Summer League, playing a little bit of minutes early on in these games, getting some run underneath them, but mostly just making spot appearances, maybe working on a thing here or there, and not necessarily needing the extended run that rookies would be facing. Pritchard talked about how he didn't get that, and Nesmith certainly didn't get that either, but they had more of a trial by fire last year with immediate ups and downs, and ultimately rounded out solid rookie seasons, especially considering the circumstances. They did incredibly well last year without a normal training camp, without Summer League, so there's not much for them to earn from this Summer League. It will be good to see them, though. It will be good to see what kind of strides they've made in their game, physically what they look like. We got some photos out of training camp here today. And ultimately, I asked Mazulla, what are you looking for from these players out of this training camp session? And he talked a lot about how this is going to be a more traditional off-season for a guy like Langford in particular, who really hasn't had an off-season with wrist surgery and other ailments plaguing him in past seasons.
So what's the early portion of these workouts been like? Seeing Romeo, Aaron, Nesmith in the gym here, any veterans working out with them? I know you mentioned Grant, and what areas of growth are you looking for from some of these guys?
I think they're all at a different point in their career. And, I think the first part is awareness, where are they at and what do they need to do to get to where they want to go? And, for Romeo, it might be just staying healthy and having continuity in his schedule of being in the weight room every day and being on the court. The interesting thing about him is he hasn't had a training camp or a summer league because of injury. And so it's having consistency just in those habits. For Aaron, it's similar. He came in off an injury and off a unique year with COVID. So can he get some consistency in a training camp? For Carson, it's where's he going to get his shots from? And how's he going to affect the defensive end of the floor? For Payton, it's can he lead a team? Can he make others around him better? And can he make good pick and roll reads? So, they're all in different spots in their career. And, we've done a decent job communicating where they're at and what we need to do to get them where they want to go.
So there you have it. That was day one of Summer League. Carson Edwards will be joining this team as well. Forgot to mention that earlier. We'll see what his roster status is with the actual Celtics, depending on how things shake out with this offseason. But as we watch the free agents continue to fly off the board, Patty Mills to the Nets today, Ish Smith to the Hornets. We had Adam Himmels back talking about how the Celtics did actually want to have Jeff Green on this team next year, but he ended up choosing the Denver Nuggets as his 20th NBA team at this point. So the Celtics still have not added a veteran, still are looking up and down this board here. Kendrick Nunn gone, Malik Monk gone, even guys who have been cast off by their teams and would potentially be cheaper options are not going to be available to this team now. So J.J. Redick types, Danny Green out of Philadelphia, who still reportedly is not close with the 76ers on a deal. Maybe that's a guy you look at this point, but if you're believing Murphy, the Celtics are just going to stand pat with what they have at this point. So, in conclusion, keep a close eye on these young players because the upside, the ceiling of the Celtics roster is going to be based twofold on Tatum and Brown's continued growth, as well as the growth and the expanded reliance on Aaron Nesmith, Payton Pritchard, Romeo Langford, Robert Williams, who deservingly will not be part of the Summer League process, as well as Grant Williams, who apparently is going to work on his improvement in Auerbach, in Boston, trying to improve. Hauser, if he can show he's a shooter, will be helpful to this group in spot appearances, I would imagine, and we'll see who will ultimately earn that second two-way spot and see how Yam ultimately is squeezed onto this roster. So I'm Bobby Manning. We'll be covering Summer League for the rest of the week and into next week. Sunday begins their exhibition series against the Atlanta Hawks.